Welcome back. The Air Force's innovation ecosystem, AFWorks, wants help from industry to create a wearable device to detect COVID-19. It's one of many projects accelerators across government have taken on to foster innovation. Meagan Metzger is founder and CEO of Dcode. Meagan, thanks for coming on the program. Is there a risk at some point of having so many accelerators going so many different directions that people are doing the same work?
Oh, that's definitely always a risk. One thing that we focus on at Dcode and encourage any government organization that's going to run an accelerator is to take the time to stop and look across the environment, across all of the agencies, and leverage the work of what is going on in other programs. And we see several organizations come together. More recently, you'll notice that the Navy and the Air Force and the Army are starting to team up when they're working on either challenges or accelerators just for that reason.
What do the most effective accelerators do to be effective, Meagan?
Well, there's really three things that really effective accelerators focus on. So the first is starting at the very beginning with the problem statement. You have to really be outcome oriented. So the best accelerators will focus on the problem that organization wants to solve, not the technology type. So for example, I need to make a decision really fast, not I need AI. So you focus on those outcomes. The second is going to be planning ahead for what's after the accelerator. We see a lot of accelerators come up with great prototypes, but then nothing happens. So you have to start day one planning on what does follow-on look like from budget and procurement and all of that. But the most important thing is the accelerators that succeed accelerate both the tech and the government. So you have to prepare the companies for how to work with government, and you have to prepare the government for how to lean forward and work with tech.
All right, a couple pieces there. The first one, the problem statement, is something that acquisition professionals, especially in the Department of Defense, have been talking about for probably, well, since there's been a Department of Defense. Let's not write the list of requirements first. Let's write the problem that we're trying to solve first, and they have been able to get out of that habit. Why have accelerators been good at that when the rest of the government hasn't been?
Well, I think one of the reasons is that we have to be when it comes to emerging tech, because part of the whole reason we run accelerators is to discover the type of technologies that are out there. And so if you're too specific, you're going to get very limited applications coming in from tech companies. So you have to leave it broader so that you can discover kind of the art of the possible when it comes to emerging tech. I think too, really good accelerators, like Dcode and others, come in and actually help guide and train and educate all of those involved on how to do that effectively before they ever put it out. We call that translating DoD to Silicon Valley. If you put out a list of requirements, tech companies won't understand it. So it's kind of out of necessity.
The second one that you mentioned seems self-evident to me, thinking about what the next step is or how you get out of whatever situation you get yourself into. The third one, the tech government divide, bridging that chasm, you alluded to it just a moment ago. If the companies that want to do business with the Pentagon, or the Pentagon wants to do business, and I don't mean to pick on the Pentagon, it's the civilian agencies too. But if those companies don't understand what you're talking about, they can't help you. That seems obvious. Why is it not obvious, Meagan?
Well, I think there was a lot of initial traction and accelerators focused on really early stage companies. So traditionally, an accelerator focuses on getting a company from concept to product and building a company as fast as possible. An accelerator in the government needs to focus more on the second part, on the product or that technology into the government. And so the courses need to look different, and the mentorship and the guidance you give has to look different. So there's a difference in building technology, and there's a difference in building technology with the DoD, regulations or FedRAMP in mind from the start. And so working with accelerators to understand that's really critical in order to see success.
How much of this is incumbent on the government to fix itself in some way or other?
Well, the government, I think like I said, where we see the most success is when it focuses on training and providing kind of a common understanding to all government stakeholders that will be involved. I think the most important part is a lot of times we focus on innovation training and innovative procurement training for the folks that are going to be prototyping, but you have to train the government stakeholders that will catch the prototype and take it to scale. And that's one of the biggest gaps that we see. And again, one of the most important things, train everyone, including the catchers of innovation, on how to scale it and how to work with emerging tech and really just think a little bit different.
All right, about 30 seconds left. How does one train in that way?
Well, obviously you can call Dcode. We've been doing this for quite some time. We trained about 500 government leaders last year. But I think some of it is really starting early conversations. The day you launch an accelerator is the day you should be talking to the programs that will have to scale, and then have a common understanding of what's needed to be innovative in your budget and acquisitions. And if you're stuck, give us a call.
Meagan Metzger, thanks very much.